Rosselli Northern supports upstate New York construction with over 400 employees, 250 trucks, 9 ready-mix plants, 4 blacktop plants, and 40 aggregate mines. But their most important number is your bottom line. Contact them today to see why Rosselli Northern has been the choice for contractors and project managers across upstate New York since 1929.
Welcome to FLX Weekly here on Wednesday, May 14th, 2024. I'm Jim Sinacropi inside the FingerLakes1.com studios in Seneca Falls, New York. And as of 2017, 1 in 5 adults in Seneca County lacked basic literacy skills. Literacy Volunteers of Seneca County has been working to change that, and Executive Director Carrie Smalser will join us in studio today to talk about that. But first, this episode of FLX Weekly is brought to you by Cafe 19. Breakfast, lunch, pastries, celebratory cakes, pies, and catering guaranteed fresh and always local at Cafe 19 in Seneca Falls. Also offering an assortment of beverages including tea, coffee, and espresso drinks. Check out their full menu and weekly specials at xixcafe.com. And my daughter's senior night for lacrosse is tonight, and we've got some cupcakes to pick up from Cafe 19 this afternoon to help the seniors over at for the Minders Girls lacrosse team celebrate their senior night. So that's pretty exciting for us, and Cafe 19 helping to support that. And also the Lux Hotel and Conference Center. The Lux Hotel and Conference Center is the next great location for your overnight stay, wedding, event, reception, meeting space, and more. With on-site food and beverage at Woody's Bar and Grill, you'll find everything you're looking for in one spot. Contact them today to inquire about your next opportunity. So I mentioned off the top of the show, 1 in 5 adults in Seneca County lack basic literacy skills, and the Executive Director of the Literacy Volunteers of Seneca County is here, Carrie Smalser. Thanks for coming up.
Thanks for having me.
So what does that mean to lack basic literacy skills?
So it actually means a wide variety of things. It has an effect on people being able to be employed in skilled employment. They're unable to read instructions, unable to fill out job applications. It can also mean that they don't know how to balance their checkbook or read a checking statement, might not be able to read their credit card statements.
So it's not as simple, like someone who lacks basic literacy skills might try to navigate their way through adult life with limited success and some frustration, but is it always like apparent?
It's not always apparent. One thing that we acknowledge with literacy volunteers is that our adult learners come in with a skill set that they've built throughout,
Right.
Their childhood and also their adult life. We see individuals coming to us for help from the ages of 18 on through. We've had adults seeking assistance up until their 60s and 70s. So they've managed to get through their adult life with skills that they've learned, but they're not necessarily able to succeed with their limited skills and their limited knowledge.
So looking at some of the statistics, I noticed that some of our surrounding counties here in Seneca, like Cuga, Yates, Wayne, and Schuyler, they're not too far behind as well in terms of that percentage of those that are lacking the basic literacy skills. Ontario County is one of the lowest in our area at 12%, but the impact of having this percentage of adults in our community lacking basic literacy skills has an impact beyond their personal lives, I suppose, to more problems for our communities, whether it's health or crime or domestic issues. Can you speak on that?
Absolutely. Well, think about any time you go to the doctor, especially the first time you're at a doctor's office. There are a mountain of forms that you have to fill out, and difficulty with filling out those forms, and it's not that they don't have an understanding of what might be wrong with them physically or where they need help. It's that they may not be able to get that information out to the providers. if they don't have the skills to be able to write complete information down or be able to read what's being asked of them. As well, when it comes to incarceration, 75% of the incarcerated population didn't complete high school, whether it's because they were involved in the criminal court system prior to leaving high school, or they didn't have the basic skills to be able to seek employment, and so they had to find other means to support themselves.
Is this an issue that's kind of perpetuated from generation to generation within families? I mean, a lot of times, parents of these folks also lack the basic literacy skills. Is it kind of like breaking the chain for some of these folks?
Absolutely. So studies have shown that a mother's reading skill is actually the greatest determinant of her children's future academic success. So our goal is to bring them all together. Other areas within New York State and within the nation are focusing on making it a family affair in terms of, let's give these adults, whether they're parents, grandparents, or guardians, the skills that they need to be able to have a positive impact on the child's life.
I suppose there's some frustration too from a lot of these parents that maybe they want to give their children the best opportunities, but when they lack these skills, there's got to be some frustration there, I'm sure.
Absolutely. No doubt. What's great with our program is, there is no cost to the learners to come in. We provide, the skills and the tutoring that they need to grow their abilities with no cost to them. We've had individuals who want to be able to read to their children. We have a grandmother right now who's working within our program, and the whole reason she started was because she wanted to be able to read to her grandchild.
Well, when you talk about children like these that have parents who lack these basic literacy skills, struggling in school, that's the first thing that popped into my mind is when you read to your kids when they're young, that's how they learn to read.
Yeah.
They fine tune it, I guess, when they get to school, but most of these kids are arriving to school with this, basic ability to, understand what written text is, and that probably comes from, being read to by their parents or grandparents.
Yeah, absolutely. That definitely has a big factor in a child's ability to read and succeed in school. We also like to focus on creating a positive learning environment for the learners because a lot of adults come in any education experience with having had bad experiences growing up when it came to education. And that's a big reason why adults don't seek out additional help when their skills aren't where they want them to be.
Yeah, as we're talking about this too, it's it does become apparent that the young people enter the school system, whether it's at preschool or kindergarten age, and they're just not starting at an even level with every student isn't and a lot of that is because of, like we say, the parents being able to kind of prepare them by reading to them at night, and so yeah, it's again, I bring up the word frustration. It's got to be frustrating for those students, and they don't probably realize it at the time, but as they progress through first and second grade, and they kind of and then the common thing to think is, oh, I'm not as smart as that person, or I'm stupid, or and so yeah, it's kind of sad, and just goes to show the impact that your organization can have, wider in a wider way, other than just trying to lower the percentage of functionally, or those that lack the basic literacy skills.
Yeah, absolutely. Our goal is to assist individuals with seeking better employment, be able to assist in raising their children or grandchildren by obtaining those skills themselves, being able to continue their education. We have a few individuals who have entered our program not having their high school diploma, so they receive their general education diploma, and then they go go on
Right.
into whether it's community college or, getting their associate's degree or their bachelor's degree. And we love to see those success stories.
Yeah, that's got to be pretty satisfying.
Yeah.
So, in the name, it's Literacy Volunteers of Seneca County, volunteers. How are you doing currently in terms of your need for volunteers?
Absolutely. So as everybody is aware, the pandemic hit the volunteer community very hard, and we were one of those as well. So we are looking to grow our volunteer program. What's great is through our grant funding, there is no cost to people who want to become volunteers in terms of the training and the learning. It's a phenomenal program because there is some cost associated with it, but through grant funding, we can provide that to potential tutors free of charge. There is about 10 hours worth of classes in order to become able to be a tutor. But we can also use volunteers not just for tutoring and other means as well, community outreach events. We have a couple coming up, Taste of Spring tomorrow, and we have the Ovid Strawberry Festival in June. We also have a couple other events coming up throughout the summer in which we can absolutely use volunteers.
In addition to the training, what is the time commitment usually going forward for a volunteer?
Absolutely. So we ask if they're going to be a volunteer tutor that they initially, the first year, be able to commit an hour and a half to 2 hours a week. So we do ask for a year-long commitment of 1.5 to 2 hours a week, in addition to those original tutoring, trainings that they have to take.
And from the volunteers that you have had, what type of person generally are you seeing that wants to participate?
Yeah, so a large number have an education background, which is great. That absolutely helps. We have a lot of volunteers who come in from the retired community who are looking to, once they've retired, it's a big change.
Yeah.
So being able to come in, volunteer a set number of hours a week, that's what's so nice about this is the tutors actually get to work with their learners to determine when they're going to meet with them. So they're able to kind of set the schedule based on what works for them and what works for the learner as well.
Yeah, I'm, when you volunteer for something community-based, you want to see some sort of, you don't want to feel like you're wasting your time. You want to feel like you're having an impact.
Yeah.
And, when we talk about, like we talked about off the top, of the impact that this can have generationally and throughout the community, I definitely think that someone with the ability or willingness to volunteer for Literacy Volunteers of Seneca County, that's an effort that's going to have an impact.
Oh, without a doubt. While I'm speaking about, educators and retirees, we would love to see volunteers ranging from all ages. You do have to be 18 in order to be a volunteer tutor. However, those who are teenagers with parental permission, we can use them in other ways. Like I said, community events or helping with things around the office. It's not just limited to tutoring. So, and you're still making an impact in creating a positive learning environment for the learners that we're working with.
So on the other side of the spectrum, you do have the learners, the adult learners. How can someone watching today that thinks they want to take advantage of your services, what's the first step?
Yeah, so the first step is to reach out. It's always to reach out, and that I know is by far the hardest step for people. But make that phone call, send that email, send us a letter in the mail even, just reach out in some way. Even if you're not sure, if you want some assistance, don't hesitate to reach out. They can give us a call at our office, which is located in the county office building. It's 315-539-1795. They can reach out to us through email. They can reach out to us through the website. If they are already connected with services within Seneca County, they can speak to whoever their service provider is, and they all have the contact information for us.
SenecaLiteracy.com is the website. That phone number again, 315-539-1795. And you are in the county building, so I guess an individual could take advantage of lots of things. So they might connect with you, and then end up going to Finger Lakes Workforce Development and working with the programs there. So there are a lot of opportunities through the county government here in Seneca County and all the counties in the Finger Lakes to take advantage of these programs, and then can see what else is available too. There is support for anyone watching who has needs for these services. There's a ton of support for sure. But of course, providing that service and support costs money, and it needs the volunteers, time, sweat equity, we'll call it. And so as part of that, you also run fundraisers, and there's a few coming up.
That's correct. We have a chicken barbecue fundraiser coming up on June 29th. We are currently doing pre-sale tickets, and dinners are $13 a piece. You can contact our office if you're interested in purchasing tickets, or reach out to one of our board members who are more than happy to assist you with getting those tickets. Of course, we prefer pre-sale tickets because it helps us to know we're going to have a successful event. We also currently are having a fishing supply raffle. We received a very generous donation from Greg Blanchard of lots of fishing equipment. It includes a fishing pole, hundreds of lures, and a lot of really neat stuff.
You can see that on the screen right now.
Absolutely. It has over a $500 value with it, and raffle tickets for that are $1 a piece. Again, you can reach out to our office. We will have tickets available at the upcoming events that we're going to be at, and it will be drawn at the end of the chicken barbecue on June 29th.
You mentioned Taste of Spring tomorrow night. Where's that being held this year?
Del Lago.
Oh yeah, Del Lago. I should have known that. We actually gave away a couple tickets on this show last week. But somebody sees your booth there, they can get the raffle tickets. There's a lot of fishermen out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Look for me, and I will have some raffle tickets on me. Don't want to take away from United Way of Seneca County. They are one of our phenomenal partners. But I may stick a couple of tickets in my pocket for tomorrow night.
Gotcha. So yeah, you got the June 29th chicken barbecue, you got the fishing supply raffle, which we just saw a ton of stuff there. That'll be drawn at the end of June at the chicken barbecue, right?
Yes.
So $13 for the chicken barbecue tickets. Again, more information at SenecaLiteracy.com. The phone number also 315-539-1795. And since you've become involved with this organization, is there any one takeaway that you might have in terms of just what it's meant to you personally, or how you've seen this organization impact the community?
Yeah, so from a personal perspective, volunteering is such an important thing to do within our community. We are a small knit. Seneca County is a small knit community as a county. Each individual town is small as well. If you have an opportunity to volunteer in some capacity, any volunteer organization would be happy to help you. In terms of professionally, from being in this position, I've been pretty exposed over my career to people in poverty or in ALICE households, which is the asset limited, income constrained, employed households. And I was still stunned at our rate of 20% of adults in Seneca County lacking the basic literacy skills. You know that it's there when you're working with people within poverty or within ALICE households, but to find out that 1 in 5 individuals struggle with basic literacy and math skills is mind-blowing at times.
I think, preparing for this interview, that was one thing that stood out to me, because you think about 20%, 1 in 5, when you're walking downtown Seneca Falls or Waterloo today, and you pass 5 people, statistically, and it's not just a general statistic for the state. This is for our county. Yes. So you can pretty much think for every 10 people you come across today, 2 of them might lack the basic literacy skills that you need to really take advantage and be successful, in society. So appreciate the work that you guys are doing. Continue the work. Again, there's a need for volunteers, volunteer tutors. You can be trained and then work it into your weekly schedule and really make an impact. And again, SenecaLiteracy.com for more information. And there's a link to donate at the website. There's information on all the events we talked about. There's information for volunteers and adult learners who might want to take advantage of these services at SenecaLiteracy.com. Or you can always just pick up the phone and call 315-539-1795. Appreciate you coming in and talking about this with us.
You're very welcome. Thank you so much for having me today.
And good luck with the fundraisers at the end of the month, and have fun at Taste of Spring tomorrow night.
Yeah,
I mean,
very excited.
it's a great event if you like food. So, because there's a lot of great restaurants there that'll be at Del Lago. So, appreciate it. Thank you. And thank you for joining us today. If you enjoyed the show, click like, share, and subscribe. We'll be back next Wednesday, and we'll have live at Linden's David Linger. Linden Street in Geneva has a music series weekly throughout the summer. It's a really great thing they got going down there on Linden Street. David Linger will be in studio to talk all about it. Until then, have a great spring weekend here in the Finger Lakes.